Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy, the Mad Tiger, and up here today, guys. I thought I'd do a bit of an end of year review, if you will, talk about what I might have planned for the new year, some ups and downs of this year. I know technically tomorrow's New Year's Eve, but I'm not sure what the plans are for tomorrow. I just thought I'd show. I'm so happy I finally now completed my Dragon Ball collection. Um, I got the last three Dragon Ball movies that weren't included in the Dragon Ball Z movie collection, which is Dragon Ball Z Battle of the Gods, Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F, and Dragon Ball Super Broly. Technically, these movies aren't part of I know why they're not on the Dragon Ball Z movie collection, because technically two of these are basically the movies that set up for the events of Dragon Ball Z, at least to my knowledge anyway. And I know, I think I've heard that Dragon Ball Super actually covers a lot of the stuff in these movies. Show it's a 3-disc set, each filmed on its own. Of course, Battle of the Gods is the Beerus introduction of Beerus, and this includes the theatrical cut and the uncut version. So, and then we've got Resurrection F, which I believe is the one with like when they resurrect Frieza and all the old villains, and then the Dragon Ball Broly super version. But I've also, I pulled the trigger and I brought Dragon Ball Kai as well, the complete box set. It's actually coming from Malaysia. So my Dragon Ball collection's a bit all over the place. I've got two of the DVD sets from the US, well, they're US style ones. I've got the two Blu-rays and 3 Blu-rays official UK ones, and then a DVD GT. I'm going to do a full Dragon Ball collection overview when Dragon Ball Kai turns up and talk about each of them, show them off properly and let you guys know. But this was only $14.99, and I think I paid, it was like 32 or 34.99 for Dragon Ball Kai. Technically, you don't need to have Dragon Ball Kai because it's basically a remastered version of Dragon Ball Z with basically a lot of the filler taken out. So many people actually say Dragon Ball Kai is, some people say Dragon Ball Kai is better than Dragon Ball Z because it gets rid of all the filler. But if you want the full experience, then obviously Dragon Ball Z is the one to go for. I've heard good things about these movies. I've heard the Broly one's meant to be really good. I've heard the good things about them, so but like I said, I haven't really sat down and watched all of the Dragon Balls and stuff. So, but yeah, so that's my one of my plans for the new year is to start Dragon Ball, and I'm gonna probably wait till Dragon Ball Kai turns up, and then I'm gonna go Dragon Ball Z, the Dragon Ball Z movie collection, Dragon Ball Kai, Dragon Ball GT, the Dragon Ball Triple Super movie collection, and then Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super. I know Dragon Ball Super Hero is coming out on the 14th of March, I believe. That's when the Dragon Ball Super Hero, which was the last Dragon Ball movie, come out a couple months ago. So when that comes out, I'll probably buy that. I know there's a couple of Dragon Ball movies that I don't know if they're included on my Dragon Ball box set. I don't know if they are the original Dragon Ball, and there's some other specials and things like that a lot of them are either hard to find, or they're out of print, or they're sort of grey market areas, or imports and stuff, like Italian imports or French imports, and I don't really want to mess around doing that. I just want to have the basic stuff already. So I'm quite happy because technically, you know, I've got some Blu-rays and DVD versions of them. I'm in no rush to upgrade the ones on DVD to Blu-ray. I there's no point me doing that because it took me long enough to get them all. And to be honest, the older Dragon Ball stuff, you know, maybe there's a little bit of nostalgia watching it on DVD. You know, so but that's something that I'm definitely gonna do in the new year. But this year's been a bit of a crazy one. Of course, the biggest change in my life is obviously the new child in the house, the new baby. And I've already talked about how I'm dealing with that. It is getting tough. It's getting tougher and tougher, but I think it's because my son's been off school over these past 2 weeks, and it is a lot harder when you've got both of them around. When he goes back to school next week, it's going to be a lot easier because we'll have that bit of extra free time in the week. Babies sleep 16 to 20 hours a day. I know a lot of people don't realize that. Technically, a baby is meant to sleep between 16 to 20 hours a day. When you think about it, that's crazy. That isn't the case. I don't think they realize that, but, it's definitely a big change in my life. And obviously, as a result of that, obviously, I'm going to bed early. I'm in bed by 9:30, 10 o'clock, latest of 10:30, 11 o'clock, pushing it. And I'm up at like 5 o'clock, 5:30, 6, latest of 7. It's crazy. I'm often up before my partner is, sometimes before the baby's up. We have good nights, we have bad nights. Obviously, like I said in my vlog, I talked about, try and get them into a routine as soon as you can. But it don't always work like that. The other night we had an issue where she was being really funny, and she wouldn't settle, and she was hungry, but she was tired at the same time. As a parent, a first-time parent, all these things are so overwhelming. But when you have your second child, you've got a bit more experience, and you know the signs, and you know what to sort out. Things are hopefully looking better for the new year. We've had a few issues with this house. Some issues that the council need to sort out, and hopefully I'd say about half of them have been resolved. We're waiting for the rest of them to be resolved. Hopefully they should be out next week to do them, and hopefully that resolves the issues. We do want to try and find somewhere else to live. Ideally, this time next year, we'd love to be in a new place. I know it's not as easier said than done. But obviously there's a lot of reasons we want to move. This house has had a lot of bad atmosphere and issues in this place. We've only got a small kitchen. It's just very condensed, and we would like to move out and find somewhere else and start fresh. So that's something we want to try and do. Easier said than done, I know, but it is something we're going to try and focus on in the next year. So maybe this time next year we'll either be in a new place or in the process of getting into a new place. I don't know how quickly things are going to go ahead, but we obviously have problems with the washing machine that's broken, but luckily my partner's wages were sorted out now, so we've been able to purchase a new washing machine, although it's not coming to the 16th of January. That's ridiculous, Argos. I mean, come on. And I tell you why that is. It's because of all these fucking parcel companies and couriers and Royal Mail strikes screwing people over, so people aren't buying stuff from other sites where they can find them cheaper. They're buying them from like Argos and stuff, and Argos are now getting overwhelmed with deliveries and lack of drivers and whatnot. I know it's a crazy situation. England right now is such a terrible place financially, and domestically and economically. It is fucked, unbelievably fucked. And I don't want to go into political stuff here because that's not what I'm about, and I couldn't care less about political stuff. But these things are affecting everyone in this country. So just try to do what you can, how you can. It's been a bit of a hectic year. Like I said, it's still been tough. Because I've not really been able to see my family as much as I'd like to. Unfortunately, they've got their own issues going on, and I've got worries with my family and my dad and stuff. And I'm not going to talk about that because that's personal stuff, not to be shared over the internet, unfortunately. But But those are all things that you know, we need to try and figure out how we can go about this, because obviously I like my side of the family to see my son. You know, they live over 100 and something miles away, and it's hard. You know, we're up north, they're down south somewhere, and it's a lot harder to do these things. But obviously now we've got 2 kids, it's even harder, because obviously we can't take them both down at the same time unless they've got the extra space, and so on. It's hectic, it's crazy, you know, but these are all things we can try to figure out along the way, not to be sorted right now, but you know, things to be put in the notebook to try to figure out, you know, and stuff like that. So obviously I was, you know, obviously I've got my holiday booked for March, end of March. I think it's the last week of March. I'm so excited. It's going to be so fun. Just me and my friend. There will be a holiday vlog video. We're going to have a good time, you know, hit the arcades, hit the bars up. I don't drink per se. Might have a couple here and there, but I don't really like the feeling of being drunk anymore. I just don't see the point in it. But each to their own, I guess. You know, so these are all, I'm looking forward to that. You know, obviously me and my partner have talked about, you know, possibly setting a date for our wedding, because we've been engaged for the past 4, 5, 6, 7 years. You know, it's crazy. So these are all things, you know, we would like to try and get that sorted. I'm not saying we're going to get married in the next year. We probably like within the next 3 to 4 years. Ideally would be nice. So that's something we would like to do, and stuff like that. You know, as for like gaming and stuff, I do want to, when my son goes back to school, I might have a bit more time to game. I do play a little bit every now and then, in the morning. I've mostly just been playing WWE 2K22, still doing a universe mode. I said to myself, I'm going to do a year's worth of universe mode a year in game, not a whole year in real life. I think I'm coming up to the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, so I think I'm on my, it was WrestleMania Backlash, then it was NXT one. I think I've done 3 pay-per-views, so it's 12 months. I think you tend to get, I know when the new year starts, because the new year starts after I think it starts after WrestleMania. That's when they class the new year in the game. It's after you've got WrestleMania. It's coming along nicely. I've put loads of people in my thing. You know, I've got AEW people in my thing. I've got, you know, legends in there, people that have passed away. It's crazy. I've just got a really fun thing. You know, before I was just like, no, I want it to be as authentic as possible. But now I'm like, nah, it's a video game. Let's do some crazy situations, you know, like Kenny Omega against fucking Roman Reigns or something like that. Why not, you know? So yeah, you know, I just had like Chris Jericho. I did a match earlier, and it was like Chris Jericho, the AEW Chris Jericho versus Brock Lesnar. Fucking boom, instant win with Chris Jericho, man. Obviously, I've actually, talking about the streaming services, I've actually moved pretty much most of my streaming services that I talked about to over to Prime. And the reason I did this was because I figured, you know what, it's less clutter, less apps, you know what I mean? So they're all together on Prime. So I put my Paramount subscription on there, Full Moon and Arrow, and then I've got Shudder on there. I think I've got Discovery on there, and then a couple of the other Prime ones. I think Studio Canal, Shout Factory, and MGM and Icon. So 9. So technically, my Prime had 10 different subscriptions on there. So ideally, the only other apps that I've got would be obviously ITVX, because it has my BritBox included in there. Netflix is obviously its own thing. Disney Plus is its own thing, and then obviously my Fight Network and IWTV, and my Impact WWE Network. Impact Plus is on I've not got Impact Plus, but I've got Impact, the YouTube access one, which doesn't give you everything that Impact Plus does, but it does give you a decent amount of stuff on there, and it's an easier way it works, unlike Impact Plus does. I haven't been on Impact Plus since. Maybe they've changed it. I don't know, and I don't really want a chance using it again for them to take the money and not, you know. So yeah. So like I said, those are my plans for the beginning of the year. You know, some goals, like I said, to try and obviously my Dragon Ball is going to be my major one for the new year. I'm gonna try and get as many things watched as possible. You know, I'm trying to not slim down the collection, but at least get things watched in the collection. Tonight I'm gonna watch some WWE. I think tonight I'm gonna watch the 2000 Unforgiven. Going through the pay-per-view slowly. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But yeah, like I said, I tend to do like a DVD Blu-ray one night, then the next night will be wrestling, a wrestling one, the next night will be a TV show, the third night, then it'll be like YouTube one night, and then it'll be then maybe a streaming movie or something on my streaming services, and then go on like that, you know. So but yeah, I'm gonna be going out soon with my son. I said I'm gonna take him out to the local bar and grill. I really fancy a nice curry. My partner's like, "Oh, did you want takeaway?" And I said, "Yeah," but she's like, "I want Chinese," and they don't deliver till late. I don't really want Chinese. I said I really want a curry. But all the curry houses around here don't open till late. You know, I tend to eat quite early. So I said I'll just take my son to the local curry house and get myself a nice curry. It's been a long time since I've had a curry. I get the occasional curry from like Iceland or like Sainsbury's or something, and they're all right, the ready meals, because my partner don't like curry anymore, and they're all right. But the best way to get a curry is an actual curry house. It's not an actual curry house, but it's a bar and grill, but they specialise, their mains are curries. I don't eat spicy curry. I like chicken kormas and kormas. I do like masalas, but I love a good lamb korma. Then some cheese, naan bread, some rice, poppadoms. What more do you want? Who doesn't love a good old fashioned Ruby Murray? I'm not like freaking Red Dwarf. Oh yeah, Vindaloo. I can't remember his name. What is the guy's name from Red Dwarf? I know it's Craig David plays him, or Craig Charles plays him. Sorry, Craig David, fucking singer. But I can't remember the guy's bloody name. It's on the top of my head now. Not Arnold Rimmer. He's the hologram. Obviously, it's Arnold Rimmer's the hologram. He calls everyone Smeghead. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. When I finish this video, I'll probably remember it. But if you know who I'm on about, you know who I'm on about. Red Dwarf's awesome. Although I'm still pissed because Red Dwarf was taken off BritBox and now it's on Amazon Prime. Although part of me's tempted, do I want to use ITVX anymore because the app was still a bit shitty, and do I just move it back to Amazon Prime? I don't know. I might leave it with ITVX because it's the same price, you know, and I'm getting those bit of extra stuff included. But either way, but yeah, so there's no games or anything that I'm interested in the new year. Like I said, I do want to get a new TV. I'm a bit pissed because they had the TV on sale in Argos, but not in stock at the moment. Oh, for fuck's sake. But my partner said she might save up and get me one for my birthday, so unless I get one beforehand, I'm not going to go crazy. I just want to get another 50-inch 4K. As long as it's 50-inch 4K, it's good enough for me. I'd love like a high-tech one, but there's no point spending all that money on it, you know. As long as it's 4K, Ultra HD, good enough for me. HDR, all that good stuff. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this little New Year's end of year review, if you will. Like I said, if you've had a good year or a bad year, let me know in the comments below. Yeah, I hope you guys have a good new year. Take it easy, don't go too mad. Look after yourself. Hopefully 2023 will be a bit of a less hectic year. Obviously things have been crazy this year, as you know, both in personal life and outside in the real world. So we shall see what happens. As always, guys, feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Comment below, let me know how your year's been. What have you got planned for the new year? Any resolutions? I don't have any resolutions per se. I guess my only New Year's resolution would be maybe to watch Dragon Ball. Maybe try to look after myself a bit more. You know, I might start going back to the gym and things in the new year. I know that's a pretty popular one, but I wouldn't say that's a New Year's resolution. I won't do it straight away. It'll be like, you know, a couple months down the line, once everything's sorted out and settled, and stuff like that, you know. And as always, guys, subscribe if you haven't already. I'm gonna go and just put my phone on charge, finish up the rest of the housework, and then I'm gonna go and have a nice good old fashioned Ruby Murray. Take care and bye bye.